The first Ukrainian corvette is already undergoing trials in the Black Sea. Off the coast of Turkey, engineers and military personnel are testing the future flagship of our fleet, Hetman Ivan Mazepa. It was first launched last year. At that time, they were checking how it would perform as a vessel. Everything went well, and now Ivan Mazepa, equipped with all its armaments and equipment, is undergoing trials as a fully operational combat ship.
The corvette is designed to search for and destroy enemy submarines. This is its main task. This is in line with what is required of it, for example, by the standards of NATO.
What is the first Ukrainian corvette Ivan Mazepa capable of? What types of armaments will this ship carry? And what targets will it be able to destroy? And most importantly, when will the flagship of the Ukrainian fleet join the Navy and embark on its first combat duty? Find out all about this and uncover even more right now in Arsenal. The latest details of the Ukrainian corvette Hetman Ivan Mazepa's trials were shared in a recent interview by the spokesperson of the Ukrainian Navy, Dmytro Pletenchuk. According to him, the work is proceeding according to plan. However, it requires time. After all, this is practically the first time the Ukrainian fleet is truly transitioning to NATO standards.
In general, many things that are fundamental for us are new specifically in this field because these are weapon models that are fully NATO standard and there are different requirements there.
The curtain has also been lifted regarding the question of who will operate this machine. The crew of the Ivan Mazepa has already been formed, and they are currently undergoing training abroad. Obviously, a reserve crew is being prepared in parallel.
The crew of such an operational unit consists of hundreds of dedicated people who must work as one whole. For this, they need to overcome the language barrier, starting with language training to continue their studies abroad. They are currently studying abroad to master their part of the ship, to learn coordinated actions. And only after that can they become a team, a crew. And only after that can they be deployed.
Meanwhile, hundreds more Ukrainian sailors will have to be trained. After all, Ivan Mazepa is not the pinnacle of our future fleet, but merely the beginning of a global naval reform. It is supposed to become the flagship of the Navy, but only the first of 4 planned corvettes in this class. According to the military, the long-awaited reformatting of our fleet will begin with this ship. Meanwhile, Ukraine has already received a number of mine countermeasure vessels and combat ships, smaller ones, that will form the small and medium fleet. Led by Ivan Mazepa, this will become a truly modern flotilla of Western standards.
We must absolutely have a fleet that will no longer allow invaders to even think about attacking us or in any way looking towards our beloved nation. Therefore, the construction of such ships continues. It is proceeding according to schedule and even slightly ahead. All the armaments intended for the ships will be delivered on time.
As for the armaments, this issue has not been fully disclosed yet. It is known that the Ukrainian corvette was built based on the Turkish ship Ada. Therefore, the types of armaments will surely be similar. But the specifics are still classified as secret.
There will be anti-ship missiles, 8 of them. There will be a 76mm artillery installation. Yesterday, I heard that there will be a 205mm installation. It's interesting what kind of system this is. Perhaps there are some new ones, types of ammunition. There will be a European-made complex and anti-aircraft missile system with a firing range of 20 kilometers. Of course, there are also communication means, electronic warfare systems, jamming and radio intelligence.
Based on the types of weapons and enemy detection means, Hetman Ivan Mazepa is assigned corresponding tasks. First and foremost, it is to operate in deep sea areas, accompanied by smaller boats and other small vessels.
The corvette ship is designed to search for and destroy enemy submarines. This is its main task. This is as required by, for example, the standards. NATO in the North Atlantic Alliance. Additionally, It has weapons to combat surface ships and aerial targets.
Moreover, the flagship of the Ukrainian fleet will not be board alone. It is known that a second ship of the same class is already under construction. In March of last year, it was reported that the metal for the vessel had already been cut and now the section is being formed. Speaking of Ivan Mazepa, it took about a year from this stage to launching. However, the actual state of construction of the second ship.
The information remains strictly classified and confidential. We plan to build on the territory of Ukraine. After all, we must develop our shipbuilding industry in the future. Therefore, the third and fourth ships should already be built in Ukraine. Size.
Besides construction in Ukraine, which is unlikely to start before the conclusion of the war, there is another problem for reconstruction. The Navy has never had such large ships, and we simply lack the facilities to service them. Indeed.
A completely new and entirely new base is required for them because there is various different equipment, different depths, and this base should be as proximate as feasibly possible to the areas of its use.
But when this problem is resolved, things will move faster, experts assure. The fact is that the saga, which has been dragging on for the fourth year with the construction and the handover of the flagship Ivan Mazepa, was quite expected. Training the crew, transitioning to new types of armaments, integrating the vessel into the general army system. Even in peacetime, commissioning a ship of this class requires a considerable amount of time.
The first original ship, Corvette Ada, in the Turkish fleet. From the time of construction to the time of commissioning, 3 years passed back then. And then the subsequent ships, when they actually very quickly, after their construction, they were delivered to the fleet within a few months.
For Hetman Ivan Mazepa to take up his first combat duty as part of the Ukrainian Navy, the main task is victory in the war. A target that is too large and conspicuous during combat operations immediately risks becoming a priority and may be destroyed. When the introduction of fire is halted and safety from missile attacks is ensured, then the corvette can be calmly integrated into the Ukrainian fleet and into the overall security system. It will no longer be a target for the aggressor, but a means for its destruction and an unequivocal guarantee of security. And of our interest in the Black Sea?
90% of Ukrainian exports are by sea, as well as imports. We have only one path to develop our naval forces to build a powerful fleet, which is exactly what we are doing.
Did you like this video? Then don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our new Arsenal channel. The link is in the description below the video.
The United Kingdom is indeed threatening Russia.
You're grunting for nothing.
More precisely, it warns Putin that joking with the West is a bad idea. After all, while in the warm Russian TV studios, they threaten the EU.
And divide Europe.
Possible.
Who needs it?
Possible.
Great idea.
Europe, meanwhile, is getting ready and hinting in various ways that Russians do not want to see their anger. And indeed, Britain's patience is already running out.
One Trident submarine is capable of very quickly incinerating 40 Russian cities. This is a big food for thought for Putin. Oh, and it should make any world leader wary.
What submarines are we talking about? What power are the British hiding, and what can the Royal Navy of the foggy Albion surprise us with in general? Stay tuned for all this and more in just a moment. The Trident program mentioned above specifically comprises a total of 4 Vanguard-class submarines, known in Russian as Avangard. The first submarine of this type was commissioned in 1993 and the last one in 1999. They replaced the 4 Resolution-class nuclear submarines, which are strategic assets. The latter had to be replaced because they could not carry the new armament that the British had chosen for themselves. The discussion is actually about the Trident II, an American ballistic missile designed for launch from nuclear-powered submarines. And it was precisely these that the British were referring to in their warning. Fun fact, Trident translates as Trident. This missile was adopted by the British Navy in 1995. They are deployed on 4 Vanguard submarines, which we have already mentioned. One submarine is capable of carrying up to approximately 16 ballistic missiles, each equipped with 12 independently targeted warheads. This means that just one submarine is capable of launching over 190 warheads in total in a single salvo. However, there is an important nuance here. According to the current UK policy, the number of warheads on board each submarine is limited to a maximum of 48 units, as per the current policy. However, if we are projecting a war scenario, we need to talk about the maximum capacity. British military officials call the Trident missiles, which have already undergone nearly 200 successful tests, the most reliable weapon system in the world. However, the British have had failures. Let's not hide it. Back in 24, during tests, unfortunately, a Trident missile fell into the ocean near the launch site. Previous tests in the year 16 were also unsuccessful. At that time, the missile launched but deviated from its course. However, this is not something incredible. During tests, failures inevitably happen. And when it comes to a missile that has historically proven its capabilities for over 3 decades, it's not worth fixating on a few failures. And the Russians probably won't want to test their luck. It will be enough to see the following graphic. Enthusiasts decided to show in detail what would happen if a Trident nuclear missile attacked Moscow. We won't dwell on this. We will just note that if it struck the center of the Russian capital, all buildings within an 11-kilometer radius would be destroyed. As for the characteristics of the Trident, the American missile is 3-stage. The launch mass is 59 tons. The Trident is capable of flying over 11,000 kilometers. But this is on the condition that the missile will have a reduced number of warheads. If it is fully loaded, the range of the Trident will be reduced to 7,800 kilometers. The accuracy of guidance, according to calculations by American specialists, can be 45 and 90 meters respectively. For a missile that incinerates everything within a radius of over 10 kilometers, this is quite precise. At the same time, it is claimed that the Trident is capable of effectively striking small, highly protected targets and underground bunkers and silo launch installations. By the way, this weaponry may soon become even more deadly. The company that developed the Trident has announced the creation of an upgraded version of the ballistic missiles. According to the plans, the new missile is expected to remain in service, until the year 2084. These developments will be carried out in particular in the interests of the United Kingdom. Therefore, they will receive it into their arsenal very promptly. In addition to the Vanguard-class submarines, the British can also boast the Astute-class submarines. As of 2014, these submarines were considered the most modern type of submarines in the Royal Navy. By September 2024, there were 5 such submarines in service. 2 more are under construction. But the British fleet can surprise not only with submarines. They also have, for example, the brand new Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers. Literally, brand new. The first has been in service since 2017, and the second destroyer since 2019. And this is where the British have already surpassed the Russians. There are no brand new or even relatively new aircraft carriers in Russia. They can only boast about their Admiral Kuznetsov to somehow cover up their failures. The Russians even tried to compare these 2 aircraft carriers.
The aircraft carrier is capable of reaching a speed of 25 knots. That's approximately 46 kilometers per hour. The fuel reserves are enough to cover 10,000 nautical miles, which is 18,500 kilometers. The ship can sail the seas for 292 days, carrying out combat missions without stopping to replenish supplies. The aircraft-carrying cruiser reaches a speed of 29 knots and can cover a distance of over 15,000 kilometers at an economical speed. In terms of autonomy, the Kuznetsov significantly lags behind the British ship. It is only 45 days.
But as already noted in the comments under this comparison, the speed of the Kuznetsov is, let's say, a relative concept.
The maximum speed of the Kuznetsov is generally dependent on the speed of the ship towing it.
In fact, such a comparison indeed even looks somewhat silly. Comparing a new innovative aircraft carrier with an old Russian tub is something that truly knowledgeable experts wouldn't even consider. As for the Queen Elizabeth, it is undoubtedly the largest and most formidable warship that has ever existed in the British fleet. The port's waters even had to be deepened specifically for the modern aircraft carrier. It is 280 meters long, and just on the flight deck alone, you could fit 470 of the famous British double-decker buses. And speaking of aircraft, there will be 40 on board. Most of these spots will be taken by powerful F-35 fighters. The British spent about $4 billion on it, but it will pay off with years of service. According to plans, the aircraft carrier will be in service until the year 2067. And although the British fleet has lost its former power over the past decades, it is now on the path to revival. The United Kingdom is actively enhancing its naval capabilities, and it can already be said that they are on the right track. What do you think about the UK's naval capabilities? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video. And be sure to subscribe to our new Arsenal channel so you don't miss all the most interesting content.